What's up, Timers here. Now, since I'm doing my top 10 list of my favorite horror films of each year, here is my top 10 favorite horror films of 2004. Because some really cool horror films that came out that year. So here's my list. Number 10 is Toolbox Murders. It is about where like newlyweds move into like a historic house Hollywood apartment building where Ren Vicious awaken like a supernatural evil, leading to brutal toolbox killings here. And it was, of course, directed by former Texas Chainsaw and Poltergeist director Toby Hooper, starring Angela Bettis, Brett Rome. It was a really interesting, creepy film. Really showcased Hooper's like modern horror chops here. Obviously, he was always like great with Texas Chainsaw, Poltergeist. Who doesn't love Toby Hooper? R.I.P. Toby Hooper. But yeah, this is a really this is not as good as let's say Texas Chainsaw or Poltergeist or anything, but it's still a really decent one that he did. All right. Number 9 is the Phantom of the Opera. Now, of course, obviously this is based on the musical, starring Gerard Butler, Emmy Rossum, where a disfigured musical genius lurks beneath the Paris Opera House, mentoring a young soprano while unleashing jealously few terror here. And Gerard Butler is really interesting here. Really plays that part, the Phantom well. A very young Emma Rossum was great. Patrick Wilson, really cool music. Really love the scary aspects. I mean, Phantom of the Opera obviously was always more in the horror realms, going all the way back to the films like the family opera versions from like the 20s, 50s, and stuff. But yeah, I thought the remake, like the musical one, was pretty cool. Directed by Joe Schumacher. A really decent horror music. Like, who doesn't love a good horror musical, right? Number 8 is Hellboy. Directed by Guillermo del Toro, starring Ron Perlman, as of course as the demonic, who of course was raised by like a secret Baru who becomes a cigar chopping Hellboy. And Ron Perlman embodies Hellboy perfectly. It's a lot of fun, entertaining throughout. It is really cool here. Of course, lots of scary aspects at times. Obviously, Hellboy is always considered the horror, like a horror spirit. But really, the first Hellboy is great. The other ones wasn't so great. All right. Number 7 is just like the first film. I'm considering Scooby Doo a horror. Number 7 is Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Of course, where the Mystery Inc. faces versions there of past villains, and I just love seeing like live action versions of those villains come to life. Like the Tar Monster, Captain Cutler, 9049er. I just always like seeing on them like those iconic monsters, or in live action form. It was so cool to see, and I really quite like Scooby Doo 2. I mean, I still probably think it's a little better than the first film. I love both of them actually. I really wish we got there one, but and of course, obviously the casting. Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Alicia Silverstone was in this. Seth Green pops up in this. It's a really cool installment, and yeah, again, I really wish we got a third one, but who knows? Number 6 is, speaking of Sarah Michelle Gellar, by the way. Number 6 is The Grudge. Of course, a remake of the Japanese horror film, starring Sarah Michelle Gellar, who plays Karen, who of course uncovers eventful curse haunting in a house. This is always so creepy. I always get it. So the most creep out moments is when, of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar is taking a shower, and you see like a creepy thing in her back of her head. That always creeps me out every time I rewatch this one. Um, but yeah, The Grudge is a really good horror film. Really cement Sarah Michelle Gellar as a scream queen, and probably got two Sarah Michelle Gellar movies on this list. Who doesn't love Sarah Michelle Gellar, right? All right. Number 5 is a movie that put Zack Snyder on the map. I think this was actually his first film, if I'm not mistaken. And that is, of course, Dawn of the Dead. I think James Gunn also worked on this too, as well. So James Gunn and Zack Snyder, cool. Of course, this is the remake of the George A. Romero one, where of course a nurse, a cop, and survivors barricade themselves in like a massive shopping mall, And you also even got Ty Burrell before Modern Family fame. I mean, the remake of Dawn of the Dead's not as good as the original, obviously, but it is a really cool remake. Really cemented Zack Snyder as a film director. Obviously, he will go on to give us, the DCEU. He will give us, Watchmen, Rebel Ridge, oh, not Rebel Ridge, Rebel Moon. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead is a really cool one. Really, again, really put Zack Snyder on the map, and it's a really cool one. All right, number 4 is Broken Lizard's Club Dread. Now, of course, Club Dread is like the Broken Lizards gang, who, of course, they are the same people who did like the Super Troopers movies and all. This is about a serial killer who disrupts a party at a tropical resort owned by a washed-up singer, and of course, taking them out one by one. I love Club Dread. I even prefer it over Super Troopers, to be honest. Yeah. Club Dread is a lot of fun. You got the late great Bill Paxton as Coconut Pete. The club Broken Lizards gang I really quite liked in this. Brittany Daniel was also good in this one. Nat Faxon pops up in this. MC Gainey. I mean, it's a really fun one. Love the fun kills in this one. Really, has a little bit of like that scary movie vibe here. It's a really cool one in my opinion. I really would love to see a sequel to this, but probably won't be the same without Bill Paxton though. All right, number 3 is Seed of Chucky. I adore Seed of Chucky. I mean, is it like as great as the other Chucky movies? Definitely not. But I get a kick out of Seed of Chucky every time. Of course, this is where Chucky and his bride Tiffany are resurrected by the gender-confused child Glenn/Glenda, where they, of course, plot to possess actress Jennifer Tilly and her doctor while, causing, and her director by causing chaotic murders here. The most weirdest moment of this is the Chucky in the cup scene. Of course, the John Waters scene. One of my favorite kills there. One of my other favorites is probably the Britney Spears one. I mean, oops, I did it again. I mean, of course, got the introduction of Glenn and Glenda. Redman is in this. It is very weird, but it is a lot of fun. Thomas C directed this. I know he did a fun job in this. It's such a really cool one. I just always get kicked out to see a Chucky every time. All right, number 2 is another zombie movie, and that is Shaun of the Dead. Of course, the directorial debut by Edgar Wright. Of course, you got the likes of Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. As Slacker Electronics salesman and his friends must navigate a zombie apocalypse in London. This movie is a lot of fun, really entertaining. Of course, put Simon Pegg and Nick Frost on the map for most people. It's definitely one of the best zombie comedies there is. Of course, the star of the Cornetto trilogy, which obviously we'll get with Hot Fuzz. We will also get with The World's End. I mean, yeah, Shaun of the Dead, I always get kicked out. And my favorite horror film of 2004 is Saw. The very first Saw movie. Oh boy, I can't believe that's in 2004. Of course, obviously, you got the movie that really put James Wan on the map. The movie that that pretty much put Jigsaw on the map for most people. Tobin Bell as John Kramer, aka Jigsaw, written by Leo Whannell. Obviously, this movie will go on to spawn a whole an interesting franchise and all. I really get a kick out of Saw. It's such a good one. Love the traps that happens throughout. Seeing Carrie Ellis gets trapped in a room with Leo Whannell is really cool. Yeah, of course, Danny Glover's great in this. It's a really fun one. Really cemented Jigsaw as one of the most iconic horror villains today, and yeah, I really quite like the Saw franchise, and it started with the first Saw. But that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Toolbox Murders. 9, The Phantom of the Opera. 8, Hellboy. 7, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. 6, The Grudge. 5, Dawn of the Dead. 4, Club Dread. 3, Seed of Chucky. 2, Shaun of the Dead. And number 1 is Saw. Now, there's a few other ones, like the Johnny Depp movie Secret Windows. There was the Anaconda sequel, which wasn't so good. Wes Craven's Curse. Santa's Little Helper, who remembers that one? Taking Lives with Angelina Jolie. Madhouse. Dracula 3000. Bless. Anyway, let me let you guys. What are some of your favorite horror films of 2004? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Suicide.